Welcome back you guys, and for today's News Daily video, I'll be speaking about the club making a 17 million bid for a League One striker today. I'll be speaking about the latest surrounding Andreas Kristensen and potential interest from AC Milan. I'll be speaking about the future of Conor Gallagher and his next potential loan destination. You guys, I'm in EFC, this is Behind CV, and if you do like today's video, do not forget to smash the like button, help me get over 1,500 likes for today's video. And on that point, we start with the first story for today, and that's in regards to Conor Gallagher and his next potential loan destination. Now, Conor is definitely a man in demand. He's having a very good season on loan right now, and because of his performances, well, it's meant that a lot of clubs have taken particular interest in the player. Currently, there are 8 clubs fighting it out to sign him on loan. There are 2 Premier League clubs in Norwich City and Burnley, and from the rest of the teams, there is interest from Rangers in Scotland, and in the Championship, Swansea, West Brom and QPR being the most notable clubs. Now, there could be some benefits to an early change in his loan that could really accelerate his development. A guy like Conor Gallagher, he's ambitious, he has plans to play for the club. Every player from our academy does, and he might be thinking, I want to go back to the next season, getting a proper opportunity in pre-season. I want to show the boss what I'm really about. I want to fight for my place, and I want to let the club know that you can rely on me, and I want to make sure that the club believe in my future and my talents, and they consider me part of the future at this club. I can imagine that's how the player's thinking, but is leaving right now the best thing to do? Now, I have my own personal opinions. I've always felt it's a bit muggy to leave your teammates in a position like that just for your own selfish ambitions. So listen, I get it. You know, football's a short career, but I mean, when there's only 6 months left to a season, you know, why move? And it's now the best time. Ideally, if you're a player that's been signed on loan, the best way to hedge your bets of getting consistent game time is to sign for a club when you have a pre-season. A pre-season is a perfect opportunity to gel in with your teammates, understand the tactics, the manager, etc, etc. But to come in straight through a season in these types of circumstances, I don't think it would have the impact that Conor needs. And you know, let's look at the interest from the clubs as well. I mean, clubs like Norwich City and Burnley, 2 Premier League teams fighting to avoid relegation. Well, how much can you really learn at these clubs? How much are you going to develop? And let's say that both clubs did get relegated or had very poor seasons. What's that going to do to boost your name in the market? Absolutely nothing. And if you look at the other teams in the Championship, yes, they're in a better position compared to Charlton, but you know, Conor Gallagher isn't going to be at Charlton for the next 10-5 years, of course not. It's his first loan, it's important for his education and his development. I've seen how other players have suffered in making these short-term loan moves, you know, players like your Patrick Bamfords, like your Casey Palmers, Izzy Browns. They were all very talented players in their own right, but the art to securing a good loan move comes down to your smarts and timing. And if I was Conor, I would stay out of Charlton and then reevaluate my position at the end of the season. But anyway, you guys, move on to the second big report for today, and that comes out from France, and reports are suggesting that we have already tabled a bid for Metz striker HABIB Diallo. Now, this story has been reported by Le Republican Lorraine, and they're reporting that we have made a 16.8 million bid today for Metz striker HABIB Diallo. He's a 24-year-old, he has 10 goals in 19 games in Ligue 1, and he's currently being chased by Tottenham and Leicester City. Tottenham want him to be a backup to Harry Kane, and Leicester City, you know, they're fighting to get European football at the end of the season, and with Jamie Vardy being their only consistent goal threat, they want more competition for those forward areas. Now, it seems like Metz already informed their manager a few months ago that this player could be made available in the January window, and it seems like he comes at a very affordable and relatively cheap fee in this window. A lot of this does come from little interest in the player, but I find this report very interesting. I personally don't know anything about the player other than the fact that he had a very good season last year in League 2 with Metz, where he scored about 26 or 27 goals in about 38-40 games. And since he's gone to Ligue 1, he's only continued his form, he's improved and he's got better. In terms of his game, I can only make judgments based on clips I've seen from YouTube and some articles I've read, but it seems like he has characteristics of an Olivier Giroud where he's very good aerially, he's winning about 3 to 4 aerial duels a game, he kind of plays like a more mobile target man where he likes getting close to his man, he works hard, he presses hard, he's not like the fastest striker ever, but he has decent pace. But the best thing about him is how he attacks the spaces inside the box, and if clubs like Leicester and Tottenham and us are all showing interest and monitoring the player, well, there must be something there. And I think with players like this, maybe we have to give the club's scouting department the benefit of the doubt, because only the club's scouting department can really suggest a player like this. I mean, I don't think Frank Lampard is watching Mets in Liga 1 to look for his next striker. But sometimes in football, you just need to trust your scouting department. I mean, League 2, especially this last decade, has been known for producing some of the best players in this league. I mean, look at N'Golo Kante, look at guys like Kachani, look at Riyad Mahrez. They all made their name and started from League 2. Even we have signed a player from League 2 that really helped us out a lot. His name was Lassana Diarra, so there is definitely quality in this league, so we can't forget that. And the fact that he performed so well in League 2 and he's continued that form into Ligue 1, well, it tells you that maybe the scouts feel like there could be something worth investing in the player. Now, what could his appointment mean for Olivier Giroud and Michy Batshuayi? It's obvious that Giroud is going to be leaving. He wants to be playing in the Euros next year, and it looks like Inter Milan are going to win that race to sign the player. If Inter can get Giroud and Marcos Alonso for close to the fee that we want for Marcos Alonso, around 30 to 35 million, well, this could be how we get Inter Milan to pay up. When it comes to Michy Batshuayi, we know that in reports, the club are looking to use Michy as a makeshift in that transfer to bring down the price for Wilfried Zaha. Zaha is another player similar to Aki in which he can fulfill and play in many different tactical setups and different positions on the fields, but he costs a ton of money. And the club may feel, you know what, there's a bit of doubt in regards to Zaha, why don't we hedge our bets? If we can reduce the price for Wilfried Zaha to a fee more reflective of his actual worth, as well as signing a promising striker for a decent fee, and these two players add up to be 80 million, which is the total value that Palace wanted for Zaha. Well, from that sense, you could see how this signing isn't too risky and essentially giving us that stopgap quality that we need in this window. As I said, this is a very interesting report. This player is a bit of an unknown quality in that sense, but if we do sign him, I feel like we should put some faith in the club's scouting department. There's a reason why we spend so much money on scouts over the years. They've come through for us time and time again, ever since Roman's taken over. If you're potentially getting a forward for under 20 million in today's market, well, for a price like that, even if he isn't a success for the club, if he does sign, well, we can still get our money back for the player. Imagine a scenario where we signed him, he was absolutely useless, but he does one important thing. He ends up scoring a goal that secures us a top 4 finish. Well, then he's worth that money. And we've seen players like Torres do it, we've seen players like Morata, and a lot of strikers that have been very poor for us having that one defining moment. So these things can happen in football, and if that's going to be worth £20 million, that could be worth a gamble. Boys, on that note, we end today's video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Tell me how you feel about Diallo. Do you think he's a good signing? Do you think he's worth the money? Let me know below. I'm EFC, this is Blue Line CV. See you guys in a bit. We move on to the third story for today, and that's in regards to Andreas Christensen and links to AC Milan. Now, at this point in time, AC Milan are back in the market for a defender. They have been holding talks with Barcelona for their young French centre-back Todibo, but they're currently struggling to find that final agreement for the player. This means that AC Milan have now turned their attentions to backup options, looking at Simon Kjaer from Sevilla, or I think Atlanta right now, and looking at young Danish centre-back Andreas Christensen. And of course, you guys, it's an Italian club, so if they're interested in our player in particular, it means that they want to sign their player on loan to possibly sign him at the end of the season, as they always say. Now, the timing of the story is quite interesting, and I think that's why it's worth talking about. Now, right now, we feel that Marcos Alonso could leave, but if Inter Milan can't find the finances to get this deal sorted, well, could the club decide to keep Alonso and maybe replace a defender to bring in Nathan Ake? It feels like that would have to be done if Alonso doesn't leave. And if that was the case, then it would make sense to let Kristensen leave on loan until the end of the season. And from Kristensen's point of view, could this be the best move for him? You know, to move to AC Milan, to move to a league known for its defending, this could be the opportunity to get consistent game time, to put your name back on the mouths of all the clubs in Europe. And if you play extremely well at AC Milan, that's only going to boost your hopes of getting more consistent game time at the club. But I also think that there could be negatives as well. If you're Kristensen and you're currently working under Frank Lampard, well, it seems like if you want to boost your chances to get consistent game time, you have to perform harder in training, or you have to do the right things to really persuade Lampard to give you more of a go. If Kristensen left and he was replaced by Nathan Ake, well, Lampard's attentions could be turned away from the player, and this could potentially mean that Kristensen could be made available to sell in the not too distant future. If you're asking me though, I think it would be a massive mistake for Kristensen to sign for AC Milan on loan. Milan currently are not the club to go to rejuvenate your career. The reason for this is because they have no system, they have no structure. All the players they've signed don't really suit or fit any system. And it's one of those clubs where you could be the perfect defender week in, week out. But because the tactics aren't the best, because the players don't really complement each other, because some of the level isn't as great, well, you're constantly going to suffer from other people's mistakes. There's literally zero stability, and if you're Kristensen, it makes more sense to just hold your time, be patient, and wait for an opportunity to come and then take it. I'll say very quickly, I'll always sympathize with Kristensen. He's lost his place not because he's not good enough, but because of injuries. And we know that when you're a centre-back, when you lose your position, when you get replaced, managers want to keep consistency with their defense. They're not going to bring you back if your replacement's been good and the team have kept 5 clean sheets. Centre-back positions are a lot more volatile, and with a guy like Kristensen who does need consistent game time to get that confidence, well, you can see why his career's been very start and stop. As I said, it's best for him to stay here. But anyway, I'm going to wrap things up now. I'm EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. See you guys in a bit.